Welcome back, Chinooks fans. Leading things off for the Chinooks is number 25, Cade Smith. Smith is playing DH tonight as he digs in. That curveball in there for strike number 1. On the mound for the Miners tonight is number 37, Rocco Bernardina. As that ball is fouled off for strike number 2. Smith down in the count early. As that one is popped up into foul territory, but the catch is made by right fielder Kyle McCausland. So that's going to be out number 1 as Cade Smith popped out to right field. We apologize to all you who are coming in, as we just had some issues with the stream, and sorry we've been jumping all over the place. But we think we've got it fixed, so we should be good here. And apologize again. As that ball is high to Degenhart for ball 1. Oliver Degenhart playing third base, or excuse me, shortstop, as that one is ripped into the gap. And it will not get down as Drake Kerr is able to get over there in time for out number 2. Thought it had a chance to get down, but Kerr had other plans. Number 12, Jordan Jaffe comes to the plate for the Chinooks in that 3 spot. Jaffe batting .247 on the year with 2 home runs and 9 RBIs. I'll say again for all those who have joined us, we've apologized for the issues we've had with the stream as Jaffe swings through that one for strike 1. Count is 1-1 now. We apologize for the stream. We hope it is, we think and believe it should be good now, as we just had some issues, and that's why we were jumping around. But we should be here for good, so apologize for that. As it is now 1-2 to Jordan Jaffe. The pitcher for the Miners, Rocco Bernardina. Bernardina has an ERA of 2.7, as that one is high for ball 2. Count even at 2-2 now. Bernardina out of Kent State University, hometown of Newcastle, Pennsylvania. As that one is fouled off behind him. Keeps the count frozen at 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and no one on for the Chinooks. As Rocco Bernardina is getting it done. Bernardina's pitched 20 innings. Has 2 wins and 2 losses on 4 starts, as that one is high to bring the count to full. Bernardina's given up 15 hits, 6 runs, all 6 of them earned. As Jaffe swings through that one for strike number 3. As we head to the top of the 2nd inning, it's going to bring up the Matsu Miners. Chinooks go down with no runs on no hits, no errors, no one left on base as we go to the top of the 2nd. And we'll be back with more Chinooks baseball. Welcome back to Chugiak, Alaska. As leading off for the Miners is Dom Patrizzi. Frankie Golko on the mound for the Chinooks, as that one's in there for strike one on the bottom right corner of the strike zone. So 0-1 now to Patrizzi. Dom Patrizzi comes into this one hitting .213 with a home run and 17 RBIs. Patrizzi out of Lehigh University. He's down quickly now, 0-2. So score still 0-0 as both pitchers dominant in inning number one. That one is outside for ball number one. So the 1-2 pitch to Patrizzi. That one's high to even the count at 2-2. Infield playing pretty straight up. Standard depth. And the outfield for the Chinooks playing fairly deep as Patrizzi swings through that one. So that is strikeout number 4 for Frankie Golko, who is on a heater right now. And that's going to be out number 1 for the Miners, as it brings up Brandon Durand. He's the designated hitter wearing number 35. Durand has hit 2 home runs on the year, but he's only hitting .188, as that one is high from Golko. Frankie Golko has had a very nice year so far. His ERA is 2.24 and has pitched 35 1/3 innings. Won 3 and lost 3. He's started 6. As quickly now 2-0 to Durand. Golko will find the strike zone there as the count moves to 2-1. The Chinooks wearing today their navy jerseys with the red Chinooks across the front, white pants with the blue stripe, as Durand swings through that high pitch as the count goes even now at 2-2. Chinooks wearing that white cap, as that one is swung through as well. Foul tip into the catcher R.J. Rickabaw's glove. So that will sit Durand down, as that is going to be another strikeout for Golko. That is 5 strikeouts, as there are now 2 outs and no one on for the Miners. It's going to bring up Ryan Cochran. Cochran hitting 125 on the year. He's playing third base for the Miners tonight, as that one will find the strike zone again for strike number 1. Just caught the outside part of the zone. Golko fires that one in there high, as he's ahead in the count now quickly, 0-2. Golko gets the sign from Rickabaugh. Cochran really crowding the plate a bit as he swings through that one, and that is a 1-2-3 inning as Golko fans them all. So that is going to be no runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base, as the Chinooks get through that one quickly, and they'll head to bat when we come back in the bottom of the 2nd inning. Welcome back to Lee Jordan Field, where Louis Zalaika leads things off for the Chinooks. Zalaika hitting .272 on the year. Had a really nice series down in Kenai. One of the bright spots of this Chinooks team. He steps in now as Rocco Bernardino will take the mound after pitching a 1-2-3 inning in the first. That one is high for ball number 1. Zalaika will step back in with no one on and no one out. Wind up from Bernardino will be low for ball number 2. That one was in the dirt. The Miners wearing those green tops with the yellow Miners script across the front. Yellow cap with white pants. Green stripe down the side, and they have those tall green socks that over 50% of the players are wearing tonight. As the pitch comes from Bernardino for ball number 3, as that one was low and away. The Miners jersey is very reminiscent of the Oakland A's, as I'm sure that was their goal. As Zalaika will swing through that one to bring the count to full. So 3-2 now to Zalaika. Zalaika will regain his composure and step back in. Bernardino looking to strike him out on this pitch right here. Zalaika calls timeout and will remove his glasses, it looks like. Needed to adjust them. Miners infield playing pretty little deeper than usual. And their outfield playing deep as well. As Zalaika will ground one to third base, as the throw will be in time to get Zalaika at first. So nice throw by Wilcox to get Zalaika in time. So that's going to be out number 1. And so with one down and no one on base, that brings up Jaden Hill. Jaden Hill wearing number 15, playing center field tonight for the Chinooks. He's hitting .250 on the year with 5 RBIs and 20 hits. Hill has all the power in the world that you could ask for. It's just, we'll see if he can make contact. As that one missed, low for ball number 1. Bernardino kicks and fires. That one is a nice curveball that will just miss low for ball number 2. Hill will step back in now as Bernardino gets the sign. And that one will be popped up out of play. So count moves to 2-1 after that foul ball. Rocco Bernardino, the pitcher out of Kent State, stands in at 6'5" and weighs 225. So that is a imposing figure on the mound. As it's now 2-2 after that foul ball. Pitch will be in there for strike 3. Jaden Hill did not agree, as he was a bit frozen there. He was not ready for that one. So nonetheless, it's going to be a strikeout number 2 for Bernardino. It's going to bring up Jacob Hayes. Jacob Hayes playing first tonight. He's hitting .250 as well on the season. Pitch from Bernardino outside for ball number 1. Hayes will step back in. And that's going to be low and in the dirt for ball 2. So Hayes quickly ahead now, 2-0. Bernardino playing with some pace, getting those pitches off pretty quickly, one right after another. As that one is slapped to the third baseman, and the throw will be made in time. Nice grab by the first baseman, Perez, off the turf. And that's going to be out number 3. So we are headed now to the top of the 3rd, where Golko will take the mound again. So that's it through 2, as there were no runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base here in this pitching duel. We will be back with more Chinooks baseball in the top of the 3rd. And we're back here in the top of the 3rd, as leading off for the Miners is going to be Blake Baltz. Blake Baltz hitting 156, as a pitch from Golko will just miss outside for ball number 1. Baltz, a catcher out of UCLA, hometown of Rancho Santa Margarita, California. And that one's going to find the zone for strike 1. So counts even now at 1-1. Golko has got 6 strikeouts so far in this one. Very impressive numbers, as that one missed outside for ball number 2. Baltz will step back in now from the stretch. Kicks and deals. That one is just high for ball number 3. So Baltz just slightly ahead in the count now at 3-1. Pitch comes from Golko. That one will be high, so Baltz will trot down to first on the walk. It's the first walk of the night for Golko, as there's now 1 on with no one out. He's going to bring up Riker Sko. Riker wearing the number 8 tonight and playing left field. He's hitting 127 on the season with 4 RBIs and 7 hits. Pitch is low and away for ball number 1. Baltz will take his lead over at first, and he will throw over to first, trying to keep him close. Back in time. No issues there. Count still at 1-0. As Golko gets the sign. Pitch comes and is fouled back behind the plate to bring the count to even at 1-1. The umpires for today's contest are at home plate Luis Alvarado, senior from Florida, as will be a theme here, as you will notice. Charles Reddick at first base from Tallahassee, Florida, as the runner nearly went, but decided to hold up. That pitch is in there for strike number 2. And your third base umpire tonight is Shane LeBoyd from Southern Florida. As the throw from Golko will not be in time, as he's just trying to keep Baltz close. So the 1-2 pitch to Sko. as that one is ripped foul down the third base side, out of play. Shane Steffen bringing the umpire a fresh set of balls. So the count stays at 1-2 after that foul ball. Golko gets the sign from Rickabaugh and kicks and deals. That one is outside on the slider for ball number 2. So 2-2 now to Riker Sko. Infield as that one misses low to bring the count to full. So 3-2 now, as there is 1 on and no outs. The infield playing as the throw over to first again from Golko. Baltz will be back in easily. Infield playing pretty standard depth. Golko kicks and fires, and that one's going to be his second walk in a row, as Sko will take first and Baltz will trot on over to second. So that'll bring us back to the top of the lineup.
Number 9, Drake Kerr.
Drake Kerr is coming to the plate now for the Miners. Kerr struck out back in the first. Golko looking to do that again. He will check second and fire. Bunt is laid down and will stay fair. Rickabaugh will fire it on to first in time for out number 1. So Kerr will be out at first base, but that will advance Baltz and Sko to second and third. So Baltz at third and Sko at second, as it will bring up Chase Wilcox with 1 out and 2 on. Wilcox singled back in the first inning. Golko will, and there's one hit lined into right field, and that's going to score 1 run. Baltz will score from third, as that's going to be a base hit for Wilcox. He's 2 for 2 now, as Baltz scores from third, and Sko will move over to third base. So it's going to be 1-0 now, as there's going to be a quick chat on the mound. Pitching coach Kyle Peets will check on Golko after that run scores. We're going to go quiet for just a moment as this conference happens.
Coming to the plate for the Miners, number 30, Kyle McCausland.
Kyle McCausland up to the plate for the Miners, as Golko will step back onto the mound after a quick chat with pitching coach Kyle Peets. After that little reset, he's back in the strike zone for strike number 1. McCausland struck out back in the first. He's hitting .237 on the year and looking to improve on that today, as that one missed high for ball number 1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Runners on the corners. And the score is 1-0 Miners after that RBI single from Chase Wilcox. Golko kicks and deals. Big swing from McCausland at the pitch, high and outside the zone. So count is now at 1-2 as Golko got him to chase. Not huge leads from either of the runners, as that one is popped up foul behind the plate. So count is frozen at 1-2. McCausland steps back in. Golko checks first. And from the stretch, kicks and throws. That one is inside for ball number 2. McCausland just got out of the way of that one, as it was in the batter's box. So 2-2 as the count is even for McCausland. The runner nearly went from first, and that was Wilcox. He decided to hold up as the pitch was received cleanly from Rickabaugh, and he was ready to throw over to Zalika at second. So probably a wise choice by Wilcox to hold at first. Full count now to McCausland as that one was outside for ball number 3. Runner will go, and it is a walk, so it does not matter. Pitch was high, and McCausland will take first to load the bases, as there is only one out. Christian Perez will come to the plate now for the Miners, as Frankie Golko in a little bit of a jam, looking to get himself out, and a strikeout would be big to start that. Pitch comes to Perez. That one will be tipped foul. So 0-1 now to Perez. McCausland on first, Wilcox on second, and Sko on third. Christian Perez sees the 0-1 pitch. That one will be outside for ball 1. So the count's even now at 1-1, 1 out. And bases are loaded. Golko gets the sign from Rickabaugh. And that one is dribbled foul down the first base line. Stayed fair for about a second, and then no longer, as the count is now 1-2 to Perez. So Golko looking for the swing and a miss here to try and really help himself out and get out of this jam without any more damage done. There is the foul off the top of the bat as it goes behind the plate towards us here in the press box. Bases loaded, 1 out here in the top of the third. After 2 stellar innings, Golko looking to get out of the jam. Big lead over at second, and that's going to be Chase Wilcox. As that one's in there for strike 3. Really nice breaking ball. Will catch Perez looking.
Now batting for the Miners, number 1, Dom Patrizzi.
So that's going to bring up Dom Patrizzi. Patrizzi also struck out back in the second inning. So now with 2 outs, this is looking like a bit more manageable for Golko. Any out will prevent a run from scoring, as this one is lifted foul down the first base side, out of play. Count is now 0-1. Yes, Patrizzi will step back in. Patrizzi batting right-handed. Pitch comes from Golko. That one is low and away for ball number 1. So 1 ball, 1 strike. As the bases are loaded with 2 outs. So it's righty on righty. As the 1-1 pitch will come from Golko. That one catches the top part of the zone for strike number 2. I don't know that Patrizzi agreed with that one as he took that pitch, but no argument from him. So the Golko nearly out of this one, as there are 2 strikes, as that one is going to be well outside, low and away. So 2's across the board, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And Patrizzi will step back in and see another one. Golko sets. And fires. Big breaking ball will make Patrizzi come up swinging. So that's going to be another strikeout, as Golko is able to rebound with 2 straight strikeouts. The Miners will head out of the top of the 3rd with only 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and 3 left on base, as we go to the bottom of the 3rd, where your Chugiak-Eagle River Chinooks are up to bat. Welcome back, Chinooks fans, to Chugiak, Alaska, where R.J. Rickabaugh leads things off for the Chinooks here in the bottom of the 3rd. Rocco Bernardina is back on the mound as Rickabaugh lines one up the middle. And that'll sit down for a base hit as Rickabaugh settles in at first. Just like that, first pitch he sees. He lines it up the middle. So runner on now with no out. And that's going to be Sam Kwamnoski, number 22, coming to the plate with 1 on and no 1 out. Bernardina gets the sign, kicks and deals. And that ball got away from the catcher. So that's going to be Rickabaugh taking second. And Kwamnoski did swing on that pitch. So it's going to be strike 1. 0-1 now to Kwamnoski. Big swing and a miss from Kwamnoski on the nasty breaking ball from Bernardina. So Kwamnoski down quickly in the count, 0-2, looking to battle back. Bernardina checks second. There's a hack from Kwamnoski that will send that one foul. Nice work from Kwamnoski to protect the plate on that one as he is down on the count 0-2. Can't take a pitch. Nice breaking ball as this one is lifted into foul territory. As that one is caught by the left fielder, Riker Scow. So one down now for the Chinooks as Kwamnoski flew out to left field. It's going to bring up Brady Groves, the left fielder. This will be Groves' first plate appearance today. As Bernardino will set. Rickabaugh on second. Pitches in there for strike number one. Caught the top right corner of the zone. Rickabaugh got a very healthy lead over there at second base. And so that strike will move the count to 0-2 as Brady Groves finds himself behind. Bernardina steps off, keeping Rickabaugh close. 0-2 pitch comes to Groves. He'll take that pitch for ball one. I don't know if Brady Groves was ready for that, as you saw him kind of his top hand came off the bat like he was maybe about a step out of the box, but he had to quickly put it back on as the pitch was coming. And that last pitch missed for ball two. So counts even at 2-2. As Bernardino will fire. Big swing from Groves will send him packing and back to the dugout. As we go back to the top of the order. As it's going to be Cade Smith.
Now batting the Chinooks, number 25, Cade Smith.
Smith flew out back in the first inning. So he's going to dig back in and try and see if he can knock Rickabaugh in with 2 outs. That one is in the dirt for ball one. Bernardino will check second and kick and deal. That one will be in the same spot as the last pitch for ball number 2. It's a cloudy day here in Chugiak, and we're lucky to be playing this one as it was raining most of the day, but it cleared up around game time. So we're playing baseball after a bit of a hiatus, as it has been rainy here in Alaska. So Cade Smith quickly ahead, 3-0 on Bernardina. As the pitch comes, that one will just miss low. It was over the heart of the plate, but just below the knees of Cade Smith. So he's going to trot down to first, and we have 2 on now with 2 outs. So Oliver Degenhart comes to the plate. He is 0 for 1 with a flyout. Umpires talking to each other. Not sure that we're going to know what about. As Degenhart's going to step back in. That one is low on the breaking ball, and runners will take second and third. So that wild pitch will result in Cade Smith moving on to second and Rickabaugh to third. So both runners in scoring position, as Degenhart has a golden opportunity with 2 outs to make something happen. Bernardina and Baltz, the catcher, going to look to get back on the same page. Bernardina didn't like the sign and shakes his head no. Gets the sign now and will kick and deal. That one in there for strike number 1. So the count is even now at 1-1. Cool day in Chugiak, as it's, like I said, a good amount of cloud cover, but very comfortable for baseball. As that one is fouled off to bring the count to 1-2. I'm sitting here in a t-shirt in our open press box, so definitely comfortable enough for the players who are playing and good enough for the fans too. So not too bad, as we are lucky. Looking forward to a great week of Chinooks baseball. We got a full slate filled with double headers and a week straight of baseball, as this one is grounded to the shortstop, and he's going to be safe. So Degenhart will use his speed to get there in time, as we're going to tie up this ball game at 1 apiece. Rickabaugh will score from third. That'll move Cade Smith over to third. And Degenhart is safe on first. We'll see if they counted a hit. Yes, they will. Just a little bit of a lazy throw from the shortstop. Not much zip on it. A little bit arc. But nothing really messed up. So they got to give him the hit. And Degenhart just hustles his way into a RBI single. That one missed just outside to Jordan Jaffe, who comes to the plate 0-1 with a strikeout. So runners on the corners with 2 outs, as Jordan Jaffe has a chance to give the Chinooks the lead. He's ahead now, 2-0. Bernardino looking to settle back in after giving up a run. This one is lifted. Foul out of play.
And that foul ball sponsored by Three Bears Alaska.
And there it is, the Lee Jordan staple. The fans saying, yay, whatever the sponsor is, after the foul ball. This one was Three Bears Alaska, our water sponsor here for the Chugiak River Chinooks, as that's going to be a stolen base. Jordan Jaffe will swipe second, and he'll get credit for the stolen base. Or excuse me, that's Oliver Degenhart. Jaffe's at the plate. So runners on second and third now, as both runners are in scoring position. 2s across the board, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, as the pitch will come from Bernardino. That one, breaking ball, just missed, low and away to bring the count to full. Jaffe working the at-bat nicely. Bernardino's pitch count around 45. So the Chinooks are working him up there a little bit. There it is, lined right up the gap, and that might score 2. 1 run will score, and there's no play at home, so that's going to score 2 runs as Jordan Jaffe gets a 2 RBI single. Score is 3-1 Chinooks, as there is still only 2 out. As that'll bring up Louis Zalaika. It's going to be a quick little conference on the mound between Bernardino and Baltz. Baltz will trot back to his position behind the dish. And he'll actually come back out as the Miners coach is going to come have a little chat with Bernardino. So we're going to go quiet for a moment while that happens. And we're back with Louis Zalaika coming to the plate. Score is 3-1 Chinooks after the 2 RBI single from Jaffe. Jaffe's on first with 2 outs. Smith and Degenhart came home to score from second and third. As that pitch to Zalika was low and in the dirt for ball number 1. Zalika is 0 for 1 today with a ground out back in the second inning of play. Pitch comes from Bernardina, and that one is lined right over the head of the second baseman, Dom Parisi. So Zalika will settle in at first with a base hit. Jaffe will move on to second. And the Chinooks are rolling here in the third. All of this happening with 2 outs. Jaden Hill will step in now, looking to add on to the Chinooks lead. Hill is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Pitch comes from Bernardina. The curveball will miss, and it looks like it hit the umpire, Luis Alvarado, in the shin. So let's hope he's okay. As that breaking ball will miss for ball 1. Everyone out there having a few laughs, so good to see he's okay. So actually it is going to be a strike. The curveball was in there, as it was going to be a late call because umpire Alvarado was hit and not really in the situation to call the pitch at that moment. So Hill down 0-2 quickly after that big swing and a miss. Hill will step back in as Bernardina toes the rubber. He'll get the sign and come set. Runners on first and second. There it is. The ball's lifted into center field, and that's going to do it for the third inning. So Jaden Hill will fly out to center. And we will head on to the top of the fourth, but not before the Chinooks struck for 3. 3 runs on 1, 2, 3, 4 hits, and no errors, and 2 left on base as we go to the top of the fourth, where Frankie Golko takes the mound. We're back on the Chinooks Network, where Brandon Duran leads things off for the Miners. Duran struck out back in the second and is 0 for 1. Frankie Golko will take the mound again here in the fourth and has a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 strikeouts on the night. And that's just through 3, folks. He is just getting started as that one's in there for strike 1. Count is 1-1 now. Golko has the stuff to make you miss, and that is evident here tonight. Big swing and a miss from Brandon Durand, and the count goes to 1-2. There's the pitch from Golko, and that one is fouled back. And the count remains 1-2. Shane Steffen over to retrieve that ball. That came off the chain fence here in front of the press box. That pitch is high for Golko. I'm sure he would like to have that one back. That one, you could tell, visibly slipped. And no big deal as it was hauled in by Rickabaugh. But as that one is blooped into center field, it's, oh, incredible catch. Sliding bucket catch there from Jaden Hill to prevent that one from what looked like a sure base hit. And it's going to be out number 1 for the Miners. As we see some action down in the Chinooks bullpen, it's going to be Gavin Alvetti. He's going to bring up Ryan Cochran. As this one is lifted foul down the first base side. Cochran is 0 for 1 with a strikeout in today's contest. That one is going to be ball 1. That one bounced right off Rickabaugh's glove. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, and no one on for the Miners. Golko comes set, and there's the pitch. Dribbled down the third base line to Jordan Jaffe, who will make the throw over in time for out number 2. So Golko getting through him quick here. And it's going to bring up Blake Baltz. He is 0 for 0 with a walk, which he later scored on. That was the only run for the Miners up to this point in this game. Thank you to all who have checked in. And we apologize again for all of the confusion early in this one, switching between the broadcasts. As that one is in there for strike number 1. Pitch comes from Golko, and that one just missed high for ball 1. That breaking ball was just high and possibly outside. As this one comes from Golko. That one is ripped into right field for a base hit. Baltz will hold it first after that one dropped. There was no chance for the right fielder, Sam Kwabnowski, to get that one as it was lined near the foul line. So runner on first with 2 outs. It's going to bring up Riker Scow. Scow is also 0 for 0 with a walk in today's contest. Pitch comes from Golko. That one is a strike on the outside half of the plate. So 2 out with 1 on. The 0-1 pitch to Scow. It'll miss well outside for ball 1. That one was in the opposite batter's box. Not a huge lead over at first from Baltz. But he's thought about going as that one is popped very high into right field, near foul territory, as Sam Kwabnowski will roam over and put the squeeze on it for out number 3. That's going to be the end of the top of the 4th as we head on to the bottom half of the 4th inning, where your Chinooks will come back to bat as we lead things off with Jacob Hayes. There were no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base for the Miners in that half of the inning. We'll be back in a moment with more Chinooks baseball. Welcome back to Lee Jordan Field, where Jacob Hayes leads things off for the Chinooks. Jacob Hayes is 0 for 1 with a ground out. That was back in the second inning of play. Pitch comes from Bernardina, who is still on the mound for the Miners. No action down in the Miners bullpen, so it's looking like he's going to keep on trucking. That one's in there for strike number 1. 1-1 to Jacob Hayes. Hayes will dig back in as the 1-1 pitch comes. That one is lifted high into left field. And the left fielder, Riker Sko, will put the squeeze on that one for out number 1. It's going to bring up R.J. Rickabaugh, who singled and later scored last inning. He is 1 for 1.
Batting for your Chinooks, number 17, R.J. Rickabaugh.
So 1 out and no one on for the Chinooks. That one is dribbled softly to the pitcher and is going to be flipped on over to first in time for out number 2. So Bernardina getting through him quickly, and that's going to bring up Sam Kwamnoski. He is 0 for 1 with a flyout to left last inning. Kwamnoski will step in now to see the first pitch. Pitch comes from Bernardina. Really nice curveball that will drop beautifully in there for strike 1. Both pitchers tonight featuring a really nice curveball, which has made the batters miss. And that has been evidenced by the amount of strikeouts we've seen tonight. More from Golko, but still a really nice piece of work tonight from Bernardina. That one's going to be in there for strike number 2. So Bernardina ahead in the count now, 1-2. Brady Groves on deck for the Chinooks. He is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Kwamnoski will foul that one off, and oof, the Miners catcher, Blake Baltz, got hit, and he comes up in a little bit of pain. And their manager is going to come check on him. Hopefully he is all right, as you never want to see that. You feel for him. But he's going to take his place again behind the plate, as Bernardina will toe the rubber, and we are back to baseball. As the 1-2 pitch comes. Big swing and a miss from Kwamnoski. And that's going to do it. Quick work is made of the Chinooks by Rocco Bernardina as we go down in order, 1, 2, 3. So no runs, no hits, no errors. No one left on base for the Chinooks as we go to the top of the 5th inning. We'll be back in a moment with more Chinooks baseball. Drake Kerr will lead things off for the Miners here in the top of the 5th inning. Kerr is 0 for 2 with a ground out and a strikeout. Frankie Golko still on the mound for the Chinooks. So that one's in there for strike number 1. Kerr will dig back in here. This is his 3rd plate appearance. As that one is lifted high into deep right field at the warning track. Kwabnowski will bring that one in. So that's going to be out number 1 for the Miners, as Chase Wilcox comes back up to the plate, 2 for 2 with a single, or excuse me, 2 singles, 1 in the 1st and 1 in the 3rd.
Batting for the Miners, number 27, Chase Wilcox.
Chase Wilcox improving tonight on that 275 average. So he'll be nearing that 300 mark, that coveted 300 mark, I might add. But the count is 0-1, and now 0-2 as that breaking ball slipped in there nicely in the lower part of the zone for Frankie Golko. Golko has been stellar tonight, despite that one hiccup in the 3rd inning of play. 0-2 now to Wilcox as Golko's ahead in the count. 1 out and no one on for the Miners. Breaking ball misses outside for ball 1. We're clipping along pretty well through this game, as we are an hour and 15 in, and we are about halfway through. So on pace for 2.5 hours, as that ball was fouled off down the left field line. Keeps the count at 1-2. That one is chopped. And the flip to first is in time. I did not think that that one was going to make it, as Jacob Hayes had to get over there to make the play, because Zalika couldn't get over there in time. It was a slow chopper, and Hayes was able to get to it in time and flip it to Golko, who was sprinting to the plate. So that's going to be 2 outs now, as there's no one on still with 2 outs. Going to bring up Kyle McCausland. McCausland is 0 for 1 with a walk and a strikeout. That one was low and away for ball 1. This one is ripped straight away center field, going back. That one will get over the head of the center fielder, Jaden Hill, and it's going to be a stand-up double. So it's going to be a double for Kyle McCausland, as the Miners have one in scoring position now with 2 outs. It's going to bring up the cleanup hitter, Christian Perez, who is 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts up to this point. Christian Perez will step in now with runner on with 2 outs. Golko comes set and looks at second. Degenhart wanted the throw, but will not get it. As the pitch comes, it's going to be in there for strike 1. I thought that was going to be called a ball, as it looked like it was off the plate. But umpire says yes. Just caught the outside portion. So 0-1 now to Christian Perez. Golko will step off and keep McCausland close. Golko will get the sign from Rickabaugh and come set. The 0-1 pitch will be just low and inside for ball 1. So the count's even at 1-1 with 2 out and 1 on. Golko will toe the rubber again and get the sign. Outfield playing pretty standard depth. Wasn't quite deep enough on that last one. Ooh, Golko will come off the mound and nearly got McCausland to go. He was scrambling there and was almost able to catch him in a pickle, but McCausland's back safely as there was not a throw made. Golko just stepped off, scared McCausland a bit. He'll check second again, and the pitch comes. That one is fouled back right at our faces here in the press box. So 1-2 now is the count to Christian Perez. As I was saying, the outfield not playing deep enough on the McCausland double as it got over their heads and bounced to the wall. Golko keeping a close eye on second base as this one is going to be dribbled into the gap. It'll be stopped sort of by Zalaika, but not grabbed as the run will come in to score. That from second. It's going to be Kyle McCausland as the RBI single will be credited to Christian Perez. So it's going to be 2-3 now, as we've got a close one here in Chugiak. Chinooks 3, Miners 2, as it brings up Dom Patrizi. That one missed outside for ball 1 on the slider. Perez on first with 2 outs. Golko will check second and come set. Pitch to Patrizi will be swung through. Big swing will bring the count to 1-1. Patrizi will step back in. Perez on first. And Golko will kick and deal. That one's low for ball number 2. So 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. The clouds lifting just a little bit, but not clearing, as it is still a full gray sky as this one is fouled back to bring the count to even. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. As Patrizi is going to step back in. He'll see the 2-2 pitch from Golko. Temperature holding as the clouds are just hanging. Not almost a clear view of the mountains behind Lee Jordan Field, but just a few covering the tops. Two after that foul ball. Golko will throw over to first, just wanting to keep Perez close. Patrizi 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts up to this point. Pitch from Golko will be high for ball 3 to load the count up at full. Patrizi came into the game hitting .213 with a home run and 17 RBIs. That average more than likely going to drop after those first 2 strikeouts. Golko getting up there in his pitch count. He's at 98 pitches. I've been told he only gets 100 pitches today, so Gavin Alvetti, number 31, out of the University of Central Arkansas, is looking like he's going to come in here soon. That one is grounded to Golko, who got the leather on it in time. So that's going to be the 3rd out, and only 1 scratch to cross on 2 hits, no errors, 1 left on base as we go to the bottom of the 5th, where your Chinooks are up to bat. And that will more than likely be the end of Frankie Golko's day, as that was his 99th pitch. So we'll be back in a moment with more Chinooks baseball. It's going to be Brady Groves leading things off for the Chinooks here in the bottom of the 5th. Brady Groves is 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Up to this point, pitch from Bernardina comes, and it's going to be high for ball 1. Bernardina still in this game. His pitch count a little lower, down around 65, as this one is lifted into center field. Center fielder's Kerr is going to settle under it for out number 1. Any other part of the ballpark, that one's probably getting over the head of the fielder, maybe bouncing off the wall, but that one went straight away center. So, out number 1. That'll bring up Cade Smith back to the top of the order. Pitch is low for ball 1. Cade Smith is 0 for 1 with a flyout and a walk. He later scored on that walk. And the pitch is low and away from Bernardina. So Cade Smith ahead quickly in the count, 2-0. There is a new minor in the bullpen. This one is ripped just foul down the third base line to bring the count to 2-1. The new minor in the bullpen is going to be number 7, Nolan Murphy. We'll see when actually, more so than an if, he takes the mound. So it's 2-2 now to Cade Smith as that one caught the outside of the plate. Cade Smith held up on that pitch, and it's looking like a good decision as the count moves to full on that ball. Just missed low and away, right off the corner. Pitch from Bernardina. It's going to miss low. And Cade Smith was able to hold that swing, and he's going to head on to first with a walk. I have never, ever in my entire life seen someone draw as many walks as Cade Smith. I will be completely honest with you, his batting average is not great. It is 176, and he only has 8 hits on the year. But the reason for that is because in almost probably at least 50% of his at-bats, he is getting on base with a walk. And that's what you want on your baseball team. And he has done that. As it's going to bring up Oliver Degenhart. He is 1 for 2 with a single, which he later scored on in the 3rd inning, and a flyout. He is down quickly now, 0-2 after that foul ball. Score is 3-2 Chinooks here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Pitch comes from Bernardina, and that one is going to drop in there for a base hit. It will fall right in front of the right fielder, Kyle McCausland. So runners on first and second with only one out. It's going to be Cade Smith and Oliver Degenhart as Jordan Jaffe comes to the plate. Jaffe is 1 for 2 with a strikeout and a single. 2 RBI single, I might add, back in the third inning, scoring Smith and Degenhart. Bernardina will kick and fire. Really nice curveball. Finds the zone for strike number 1. With a runner in scoring position and only one out, Jaffe looking to make something happen, and now both runners are going to be in scoring position after that pass ball. So Smith on third and Degenhart on second. And if this isn't making you reminiscent of that third inning, I don't know what will, because that is exactly what happened back in the first. Cade Smith walked, Degenhart got on with a single, and a pass ball brought them both into scoring position. And Jaffe knocked them both in on a 2 RBI single. So we are just missing one little piece to bring that third inning back to exact completion. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out, as Jaffe will foul this one down the third baseline. Count goes 1-2. Jaffe will dig back in and see another one. Big lead from Degenhart on second. The pitch will be down the middle for strike 3, so Jaffe will go down looking. And that's going to bring up Louis Zalaika. He is 1 for 2 with a single and a ground out. So 2 outs now with runners on second and third. Zalaika now the one with the opportunity to drive in the runs. He's going to get that chance right now as the pitch comes from Bernardina. Nasty breaking ball, somehow found the bottom of the zone. That looked like a lot of north to south movement in there, that so much I thought that it dropped out of the bottom of the zone, but umpire says no. It caught the bottom part of the zone. So 0-1 to Zalaika. Pitch from Bernardina. There is a big swing. He swung himself out of his shoes right there. And so it's 0-2 now to Zalaika. He is down in the count quickly. Bernardina controlling this at bat. He'll step back in and hope to battle back. Just got to try and knock 1 or 2 of these runs in. And there it is. There is the big swing from Zalaika, and he will come up with nothing but air. So Bernardina will punch him out and get out of the jam. So 2 straight strikeouts for Bernardina will send the Chinooks packing. And we will go now to the top of the 6th. The Chinooks were not able to scratch across any runs on 1 hit. No errors, 2 left on base. As we go to the top of the 6th inning, where the Miners will come to the plate. And we are back with more Chinooks baseball in just a moment. And we're back as the Chinooks have a new pitcher on the mound. Golko's night is done, and it's going to be Gavin Alvetti on the mound, wearing the number 31 tonight. At the plate for the Miners is going to be number 35, Brandon Durand. And that one is going to be in there for strike one. So, Gavin Alvetti, ERA of 2.45. No starts. All of his action has come in relief. As that one missed for ball one inside. He's pitched 18 1/3, given up 13 hits, 6 runs, 5 of them earned. He comes out of Central Arkansas University, as that one is dribbled foul just down the third base side. So 1-2 now. It'll be for Brandon Durand, and he's going to have to dig back in to see another one. Alvetti coming in at 6'4", 140 pounds. He's got a bit of a submarine-style pitch, which you don't see too often, but it is effective for him, as that 2.45 ERA is very nice, as that one is ripped. And an incredible catch from the shortstop. Oliver Degenhart will rob him of what was sure to be a base hit. And that's going to be out number one, as Gavin Alvetti's night is getting started lucky on that really nice play from Oliver Degenhart. So 1 out and no one on.
Number 19, Ryan Cochran.
It's going to be Ryan Cochran at the plate now for the Miners. He is 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a ground out. Now he's going to be 0 for 3, as that one is flipped on in time to first. It's going to be Jacob Hayes over to Gavin Alvetti, who hustled over there just in time. So 2 down now, as it's going to bring up Blake Baltz. He is 1 for 1 with a walk and a single. He scored on the walk back in the third. So 2 down now, and no one on, as Alvetti's looking to get out of this one really quick. Alvetti comes set and fires. There it is. Just a little bit of north-south movement on that pitch, and it'll freeze Baltz for strike number 1. Really nice pitch from Alvetti. And it'll come again, as ball number 1 will be in there low. So 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs, with no one on to Baltz, as that one is fouled off well out of play down the third base side. You have to think there will be a new pitcher for the Miners in the bottom of the 6th here. I could be wrong, but I'm thinking it's going to be that number 7, Nolan Murphy. But we will see. Pitch will come from Alvetti. There it is. In there for strike 3, as Baltz comes up swinging. So 1-2-3 inning for Gavin Alvetti. He gets out of that one quickly. That's his first strikeout of the night. And we are going to head on to the bottom of the 6th, where your Chinooks come to the plate. No runs, no hits, no errors, no one left on base in that half the inning, as we go onto the bottom of the 6th, where your Chugiak Eagle River Chinooks take the plate. Jaden Hill will lead things off as we come back to Chugiak, Alaska, where the Chinooks lead this one narrowly 3-2. Jaden Hill comes into this one 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a flyout. Looking to improve on that as the pitch comes from Bernardina as he's still in the game. Big swing from Jaden will come up empty as it's now 0-1. That one missed low for ball one, so the count's even now. 1 ball, 1 strike, no one out. As this one is dribbled just foul as it hopped on the other side of the bag. So Hill will be saved there, as that one would have been a sure out had it stayed fair. Dribbled right to the first baseman. So 1-2 now. Pitch comes from Bernardina as that one is ripped into right field, just past the outstretched glove, and Jaden's going to hold up. Thought about going, but he's going to hold up at first, which is definitely the right play. So really nice piece of hitting that got just past the first baseman, Perez's glove. So it's going to be a single for Jaden Hill to get things going here in the bottom of the 6th. Jacob Hayes comes to the plate. He is 0 for 2 tonight and looking to advance Jaden Hill. This one's outside for ball 1. Hayes comes from Anacortes, Washington, out of the NCAA Division II school, Azusa Pacific. As this one is lifted high into right field. Took an eternity to come down, but eventually it fell into the glove of Kyle McCausland as he'll go down. And it'll bring up RJ Rickabaugh. Rickabaugh is 1 for 2 with a single, which he later scored on back in the 3rd. Rickabaugh will come up with 1 out and 1 on. Jaden Hill over there at first after his single. Pitch will come from Rocco Bernardina. Right down Broadway for strike 1. So the 0-1 pitch now to Rickabaugh. That one's outside for ball 1. So counts even now. 1 ball, 1 strike, and 1 out. Sam Kwabnowski is on deck for the Nooks. He is 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a flyout. Pitch from Bernardina is lifted into shallow center field, and it's going to drop. And it's going to be a close play at the plate, and he's out of there. So the ball drops so close to second base that they were able to get Jaden Hill. So he probably was waiting to tag up. He didn't go right off the bat because he didn't know if that was going to be caught. And he's out at the plate. So Rickabaugh will still get his single, but an out will still result. So there's 2 down now with only 1 on. Kwabnowski up to the plate will foul that first pitch off for strike 1. So the umpire will hand Bernardina a new ball, and they will walk back to their respective spots, and we're going to play on. Kwabnowski will step back in as Bernardina toes the rubber. He gets the sign and comes set. The 0-1 pitch from Bernardina. Really gross movement on that pitch. It broke really early, but and ended up in the dirt, but Kwabnowski fell for it, and a pretty rough check swing there will give him strike 2. So he's behind now 0-2 early, and that one, the curveball just got out of his hand early there. And so 1 ball, 2 strikes now to Kwabnowski. as he's looking to battle back from that early deficit in the count. Rickabaugh over at first, not much of a lead. Kwiatkowski will foul this one off. So count will remain at 1-2. Pitch from Bernardina is low and inside. Kwiatkowski had to do a little shuffle to get out of the way of that pitch. So 2-2 now with 2 outs. As Kwiatkowski's gonna see another one. 2-2 pitch from Bernardina. Bounces off the turf and into the glove of Baltz as the count gets loaded up at full. The payoff pitch for Bernardina. Rickabaugh will be running as it's full with 2 outs. The payoff pitch from Bernardina. And it's going to miss just inside for ball number 4. Kwiatkowski will trot on down to first base with the walk. He's going to bring up Brady Groves. He is 0 for 2 with a strikeout and a flyout in this one. So now there is a runner in scoring position as there's 2 outs here in the bottom of the 6th. Manager is going to come out and have a little chat with his pitcher, Rocco Bernardina. We will see if there will be a pitching change made or not as he's getting up there. He is at 99 pitches, so I would have to imagine he's done for the night. But coach may be letting him try and finish out this inning, but we're about to see. The conversation breaks up, and they're going to let him ride this one out. So Bernardina is going to step back up and face Brady Groves. Brady Groves will step into the box now. He's 0 for 2. And looking to drive in the runner, Rickabaugh from second. There's the breaking ball that will end up in the turf. So 1 ball, no strikes now to Groves. Checking second is Bernardina, as that one is well outside. It bounced in the center of the opposite batter's box. So early lead in the count for Brady Groves, 2-0. Pitch comes from Bernardina as this one is lifted into foul territory, but still in play as the first baseman, Christian Perez, will put the squeeze on it for out number 3. So Bernardina is going to get out of this one. And we are going to head on to the top of the 7th, where the Miners are at bat. And we'll see Gavin Alvetti again as he is back up to do some work. There were no runs on 2 hits, no errors, 2 men left on base as we go to the top of the 7th. And we'll be back on the Chinooks Network. We're back in the top of the 7th at Lee Jordan Field in Chugiak, Alaska, where number 8, Riker Sko, will lead things off for the Miners. He is 0 for 1 today with a walk and a flyout. He will be facing Gavin Alvetti, who shut things down last inning as that one is dribbled over to second. Zalaika will try and make the throw in time, but the transfer he had a little trouble with, so that's going to be an error rather than a base hit. And Sko will reach on an error. But nonetheless, there is runner on first with no outs, as Louis Zalaika was able to field it cleanly, ranging over to his right to make the throw, just couldn't get the ball out of his glove. He had to do multiple takes, and the throw was just not in time over to Jacob Hayes at first. It's going to bring us back to the top of the lineup, where we will see Drake Kerr for his 4th at-bat today. He is 0 for 3 with a ground-out, fly-out, and a strikeout. So, ball 1 now to Kerr. As I was saying, Alvetti had a really nice 1-2-3 inning in the 6th, as this one is fouled off. So, count goes even at 1-1. Alvetti will step back on the mound and toe the rubber. And Kerr will step back into the box and see the 1-1 pitch. Alvetti kicks and deals. The runner goes. Throw from Rickabaugh is not in time. And Rickabaugh is arguing with the umpire here. He's saying that the batter was interfering with his throw and he couldn't get it off in time. So there's going to be a little chat between the umpires here. See if maybe we have some interference. As of now, Sko has credit with the stolen base, but the umpires are going to conference and we're going to see. Either way, it is 2-1 now to Drake Kerr after that last pitch. So they are going to keep the call as it stands, and we're going to play on. So 2-1 now to Drake Kerr. Rickabaugh's appeal did not go quite as planned, but got him to talk about it, and that's all you can really do. Alvetti comes set, and from the stretch, kicks and deals. This one is a bunt popped up high in the air. The throw will not even come, as Rickabaugh couldn't make the play, as the speed from Kerr was too much. So that's going to be a hit for Drake Kerr, his first of the game.
Batting for the Miners, number 27, Chase Wilcox.
So Sko is on second, Kerr on first. It's going to bring up Chase Wilcox. Wilcox is 2 for 3 with 2 singles and a groundout. Alvetti checks second and fires. There's the bunt. They're going to go for 2. No, they're not. Rickabaugh looked over at second and threw a no-look throw over to Jacob Hayes at first. But it'll get him for out number 1. So the runner will advance. The runners will advance to second and third. Kerr at second. And Sko at third. Batter now is Kyle McCausland. Alvetti will throw. Big swing and a miss from McCausland. Will be strike 1. So Sko on third. Kerr on second with 1 out now. The 0-1 pitch to Kyle McCausland. There's the sidearm pitch. The throw to the plate is in time, and he's out of there. The runner Sko cannot believe it. He is not loving that call. As they get the runner at the plate. So there's 2 outs now. And McCausland will reach first on a fielder's choice. And I did not see what happened there, but Christian Perez is just going to straight up trot on to first base. And that's going to bring up Dom Patrizzi. I did not see what happened to warrant that, but it's going to load the bases nevertheless. So 2 outs. Ball 1 to Patrizzi as that one is low. Patrizzi is 0 for 3 with 2 strikeouts and a ground out. We're going to check on what just happened there and figure that out. And Alvetti will sling that one in there for ball 2 as it was just low. 2-0 now to Patrizzi, who is ahead in the count with the bases loaded and 2 down. Alvetti comes set and throws. There's a big swing for Patrizzi as he is on the board in the strike column. So 2-1 to Dom Patrizzi. So we don't really know what happened to Perez. We're wondering if someone said something maybe which warranted a free base. So Christian Perez took first to load the bases, and it is still unknown to us what happened. We will work to find that out, but as of now, all we know is there was a conversation at the plate, and he got first base. What I'm hearing is it was possibly an intentional walk by the Chinooks. And that one is going to be another walk on 4 balls this time. So that is going to be a run scored for the Miners. You hate to see that. As he just trots across home plate. And Patrizzi reaches first now. And that was Drake Kerr that crossed home for the score. And that is going to be out number 3 as the throw over to first is in time from Zalaika. So that was Brandon Durand who grounded out and ended our top of the 7th inning. We're going to head on to the bottom of the 7th, but not before the 7th inning stretch. There was 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and 3 left on base as we go to the bottom of the 7th, where your Chinooks take the bat. And we return with Cade Smith up to the plate for the Chinooks. A new pitcher on the mound for the Miners. It's going to be the local product, Nolan Murphy, wearing number 7, hometown of Wasilla, Alaska. Plays ball for Central Washington University, as that one is inside for ball 1. He has thrown 9 2/3 innings, all of his action in relief. ERA of 3.72, given up 3 hits, 4 runs, all of them earned. He is behind in the count now, 2-0 to Cade Smith. Cade Smith is 0 for 1 with 2 walks and a flyout. He scored back in the 3rd on that walk. And Cade Smith looking like he has a good chance to get another one. As I mentioned earlier, he draws a lot of them, as he is ahead, 3-1. That one he takes for a strike. Murphy looking to battle back into the count, as the count is now 3-1. We got confirmation about that the little situation in the last inning. It was an intentional walk on Christian Perez. As there it is again, Cade Smith will be walked. That is his 3rd walk of the game, and I'm just beginning to expect every time he comes to the plate a walk. He is the best at drawing walks that I have ever seen, and undoubtedly the best on the team. The bunt is laid down by Oliver Degenhart. The throw over to first is in time, but it moves Cade Smith into scoring position. The Chinooks knowing that they really just need to scratch across a run, as
Coming to the plate for your Chinooks, number 12, Jordan Jaffe.
as they're tied up, and we're coming down to the home stretch of this game. So Chinooks doing whatever they can to get that run across. It's going to bring up Jordan Jaffe. Jaffe is 1 for 3 with single and 2 strikeouts. That single, however, was a 2 RBI shot, which drove in Cade Smith and Degenhart back in the 3rd inning. Pitch from Murphy comes, and that one's going to be in there. Top right corner for strike 1. Oh, 1 pitch from Murphy will come. There it is, in there for another strike. So Jaffe down quickly, 0-2. He will see the 0-2 pitch, as Murphy's checking second, and will kick and fire. That one is lofted. Oh my goodness. It's going to drop in there for a base hit. So Jaffe just lofted one right over the head of Don Patrizzi, but that was just the height Patrizzi got on that to try and get up and snag that ball was incredible. His feet were nearly above the head of Cade Smith, and he wasn't able to make the catch, but he was able to stop it and prevent Cade Smith from advancing to 3rd. So runners on 1st and 2nd now, as it brings up Louis Zalaika with no one out. Or excuse me, 1 out. Degenhart grounded out. So the breaking ball from Murphy is in there in the top right corner again for strike 1. Nevertheless, Jaffe in there with a single. So the 0-1 pitch from Murphy as he looks over at second. This one is dribbled over to second base for a potential double play, and they're going to get 2. So the Chinooks will not be able to get any across in this inning after the double play. And we are headed onto the top of the 8th as the Miners will come to the plate, and we will see Gavin Alvetti again. There were no runs across on 1 hit, no errors, 2 left on base as we go to the top of the 8th, where the Miners come to the bat. Gavin Alvetti back to work for the Chinooks here in the top of the 8th. For the Miners, it's going to be Ryan Cochran leading things off, as he is 0 for 3 with a strikeout and 2 groundouts. That one missed for ball 1 downstairs. Alvetti has gone through 2 innings of work, as that one misses high for ball 2. Allowed 1 run on the walk in the last inning. His 6th inning was a quick 1-2-3 inning. Big swing from Cochran will move the count to 2-1. He'll step back in to see the 2-1 pitch. The submarine pitch from Alvetti is in there. It was inside for ball 3. And that one will hit him. So Cochran will take first as the rain starts to come down here in Chugiak. Just a light sprinkle that we are hoping does not turn into anything else. Number 5, Blake Baltz, will come to the plate. He is 0 for 1 with a flyout, a walk, and he reached on an error last inning. Actually, excuse me, that is Riker Sko, who is 0 for 1 as Baltz swings through that one. Baltz is 1 for 2 with a single, a walk, and a strikeout. So keep that 0 for 1 in mind for Riker Sko, who is due up. Pitch comes from Alvetti. That one will be in there for strike 1, or strike 2, excuse me. So Alvetti quickly ahead in the count. 0-2. Baltz will dig back in with 1 on and no one out. Pitch is outside to make it 1-2 to Baltz. Blake Baltz out of UCLA, hitting 157 on the year coming into this one. Pitch from Alvetti, the breaking ball misses well outside. Count is even now at 2-2. The rain is starting to come down a little bit harder. We are hoping just to finish this game out, however, as we are in the top of the 8th. And we just cannot have any more rainouts. As this one gets past the glove of Jacob Hayes. And the runner will hold at second. So Cochran will hold, but a single nonetheless for Blake Baltz.
Hamburgers and hot dogs at the Chinooks-take. Now batting the 4.
So it's going to bring up Riker Sko, who is 0 for 1 with the flyout, walk, and reached on an error. So single for Baltz, hit by pitch for Cochran, as Baltz is on first and Cochran on second. There will be a conference on the mound between Alvetti, pitching coach Kyle Peets, the catcher Rick Abai, and the infield. As the rain comes down, it will be Riker Sko. The Chinooks have done a little bit better, not great. I was going to say they've done a little bit better in leaving runners on bases than in the past, but they have left 8 on and left some in crucial situations. So the leaving runners on base woes continue for the Chinooks tonight, and if we can't pull this one out, it's going to be the story again. As we are hitting the ball well. We have 8 hits, and that is good enough to win ball games. But 8 hits and 3 runs is not always good enough. Not usually good enough, in fact. As the conference has ended and Riker Sko will step into the box with 2 on and no one out, as the rain is really starting to come down now. He shows bunt and slaps it down the first baseline for strike 1. No action in either bullpen. Sko will step back in and see the 0-1 pitch. He will square up to bunt and will lay it down the third base side. Jaffe will make the throw in time to Jacob Hayes. So there's out number 1 as the runners advance to second and third. It's going to be Cochran at third and Baltz at second. But there's an out now as Sko went down on the throw from Jaffe to Hayes. Number 9, Drake Kerr, comes to the plate. He is 1 for 4 with a single, a strikeout, a ground out, and a flyout as he swings through that one. And the count goes to 0-1. A big golf swing there from Kerr. Came up empty. Alvetti checks second and fires. That one just catches the top part of the zone for strike 2 as he is ahead now. 0-2 with 1 out and 2 on. 0-2 pitch. Will be in there. 3 straight pitches will send Drake Kerr back to the dugout. As Alvetti records that strikeout, and he's got 2 out now and is looking to get out of the jam as it was looking bleak. But 2 straight outs have the Miners on the ropes as Chase Wilcox comes to the plate. He is 2 for 3 with 2 groundouts and 2 singles. So runners on second and third with 2 outs. Alvetti steps off and Rickabaugh will go out to the mound and have a little chat. Chase Wilson has been on twice but has not gotten past second base. His singles were back in the first and third innings of play. And their little conversation at the mound is done, and Rickabaugh will take his place back behind the dish. So Alvetti will step back on, toe the rubber, and get the sign. So Wilcox will swing at that one. It will be fouled off down the third baseline. And it'll be strike 1. So 0-1 now to Wilcox. Wilcox came into this one batting .275 and will be improving on that after those first 2 singles. That one missed outside for ball 1, so it counts even now at 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike, and 2 outs with runners on second and third. Pitch comes from Alvetti. Just low for ball number 2. So Alvetti looking to get out of this top of the 8th and give the Chinooks another crack at it. There's the pitch from Alvetti. It's going to miss inside and low for ball 3. So not the end of the world if you're the Chinooks to give up this walk here, but you'd really like to just be able to punch out Wilcox and move on. As Alvetti comes set for the 3-1 pitch. And there it is. Wilcox will trot down to first on the walk and load him up. He's going to bring up Kyle McCausland, who is 1 for 3 with a strikeout, a fielder's choice, a walk, and a double, which he later scored on. So 2 outs and bases loaded for the dangerous Kyle McCausland. Oh, Rickabaugh got nailed off the bat of McCausland as he swung through that one. It was fouled off and hit Rickabaugh. Hopefully he is okay, as it's going to be strike one, however. 0-1 now to McCausland. Rickabaugh will squat back down and get back to work. So, tough kid, and McCausland is ready to see the 0-1 pitch. Alvetti will come sit. And from the stretch, kicks and deals. This one is turned on down the third base line to bring the count to 0-2. He's behind quickly. And Alvetti doesn't like the sign from Rickabaugh and finds one he likes and comes set. There's the pitch. This one is chopped to Jaffe. And there it is. They'll get out of the jam. And the score will be held at 3-3. Gavin Alvetti gets out of the bases loaded jam. And we are headed onto the bottom of the 8th, where the Chinooks have their chance to break this tie and hopefully get a very coveted win against the Matsu Miners. So, there were no runs across on 1 hit, no errors, and 3 left on base as we go to the bottom of the 8th, where the Chinooks come to the plate when we come back. Jaden Hill to lead things off for the Chinooks here in the bottom of the 8th. They're looking to scratch across a run to break this tie, as it's still going to be Nolan Murphy on the mound for the Miners. There will be someone warming up for the Miners in the bullpen, however. It is going to be number 14, Ashton Johnson. We will see if he enters the game. It'll most likely be if Murphy finds himself in a pinch. And so quickly now, 2-0 to Jaden Hill. Jaden Hill is 1 for 3 with a single back in the 6th, a strikeout, and a flyout. This one is fouled right back at us at the press box, right off the grate. You may have seen it on the camera. It nearly hit our camera. As it is now 2-1 after that foul ball. That one, the big curveball, just missed outside for ball 3. So 3-1 now to Jaden Hill. And that one is popped up high into left field, and scowl underneath it for out number 1. So Jaden Hill goes down on the pop out. He's going to bring up Jacob Hayes. Jacob Hayes is 0 for 3 with 2 flyouts and a ground out. Looking to get something here, as the Chinooks really need it, as they look to break this tie, as the rain is still coming down here in Chugiak. We are really looking to get done with this game as soon as possible with the rain. That one is outside on the slider for ball number 1. Pitch from Murphy is swung through, so count is even now at 1-1. 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out with no one on. On deck is R.J. Rickabaugh. He is 2 for 3 with 2 singles, 1 on which he scored, and a ground out. There it is, as Hayes makes contact, but it is turned on and grounded foul down the third baseline. So 1-2 now. As Murphy gets the sign and comes set. Kicks and deals, and this one is also foul. Out of play down the right field side. No matter how this one ends, gotta say it was a close and exciting game. The score is 3-3. And I will say, the Miners have turned into the Chinooks tonight as they have left 12 men on base. And that is rough, especially only having 3 runs across. Not that the Chinooks are doing too much better in that category, but 12 is pretty bad. So the count is still at 1-2 after another foul ball, as Jacob Hayes launches one into left center. This one's gone. It's not gone. Excuse me. It went off the wall. The white banner blended right in with the ball, but it is a stand-up double for Jacob Hayes. Sorry to excite you all, but it bounced off the wall. Nevertheless, it is a 1-out stand-up double. It was nearly gone, but it was hammered. Probably about 380 feet that ball went. And we are in business as R.J. Rickabaugh comes to the plate with runner in scoring position and 1 out. There's going to be a conference now on the mound, and probably a new pitcher. Yep, new pitcher will come in. That is going to be number 14, Ashton Johnson. And we will get more information on him when we come back, as the conference will go on, and we're going to have a pitching change. And we're going to go quiet while he warms up. And we're back with R.J. Rickabaugh coming to the plate. R.J. Rickabaugh is 2 for 3, 2 singles and a ground out. The pitcher is going to be Ashton Johnson, number 14, out of the College of Southern Idaho, hometown of Salt Lake City, Utah. He had no starts, all of his action in relief. He is credited with 1 loss, however, as that one is fouled down the right side. So 0-1 now to Rickabaugh. He has pitched 4 innings, given up 4 hits, 2 runs, both of them earned. Has an ERA of 4.5. Comes in at 6 foot flat, 185. The 1 pitch to Rickabaugh. That one is low for ball 1. So count is even at 1-1 with 1 out. 1 out and runner on second. He comes set. The lefty on lefty. The curveball just low for ball number 2. Two-1 to Rickabaugh. Not a huge lead for Hayes at second. As that one is outside for ball 3. So Rickabaugh ahead now, 3-1. And you're not the end of the world for the Miners if they walk Rickabaugh here, as he's been hot tonight, as this one is fouled back. To bring the count to full, 3-2. He'll step back in after that foul ball. Johnson will step back onto the mound, toe the rubber. He'll come set and kick and deal. This one is, again, fouled off. The pitch right down the middle. So count stays frozen at 3-2. Rickabaugh will step back in to see another. Running Johnson up quick. First at bat for Johnson is a tough one. Rickabaugh will lift this one high. The shortstop will be called off, and the left fielder, Scow, will put it away for out number 2. So the runner will have to hold at second, and it's going to bring up Sam Kwabnowski. Kwabnowski is 0 for 2 with a walk, strikeout, and flyout. And this is an important moment for the Chinooks as they are looking to try and scratch one across. As there are 2 outs now, and Jacob Hayes is on second. Need a hit to move Hayes around and try and score this and break the tie. Pitch from Johnson. It's high. It was right down Main Street, but it was high. So ball 1 to Sam Kwabnowski. Johnson will check second, and the pitch comes. Breaking ball is in there for strike 1. So count goes even, now 1-1. We reached the 2-hour and 30-minute mark in this one. As I know it is very late for any of you still watching on the East Coast. And we thank you for sticking with us, as that one is low for ball number 2. We appreciate everyone who tunes in to watch the Chinooks play. And we know they appreciate all the support they can get. That one is in there for strike 1. It looked a bit outside, but umpire liked it. Must have caught that bottom left corner of the zone, so we'll do it again at 2-2. So 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, as the pitch will come from Ashton Johnson. That one will do it. Kwabnowski goes down looking, and we're going on to the top of the ninth, where the Miners will have their chance at it. So there's going to be no runs across on one hit, no errors, one left on base. As we'll be back in just a moment with more Chinooks baseball in the ninth inning. And we're here in the ninth inning where the score is tied 3-3 here in cloudy Chugiak, Alaska at Lee Jordan Field, where it's going to be the Miners' chance at things. It is Christian Perez. Last time up, he got the intentional walk. Overall, he is 1 for 3 with that walk, a single and 2 strikeouts. Gavin Alvetti still on the mound for the Nooks, as that pitch is in there for ball 1. Mr. Bartow checking in, listening late from Eastern Tennessee. Thank you for staying up and watching the Chinooks play. It is an exciting one, and we're hoping for a great finish here. This one is grounded fair, but they're going to call it foul. Bounced off his foot. So, smart by the Chinooks to play it out and make sure. See if they could get the free out there, but no. Umpire says strike 1. So, 2-1 now to Perez. Gavin Alvetti comes set from the stretch. This one is lined into left field, and that's going to get down for a base hit. Perez will hold it first, and he'll lead things off with the single. So there's going to be one on now and no one out, as the Miners are in a good spot to try and get one across. Don Patrizzi is 0 for 3 with a walk in this one. He'll bunt. This one will get down, and they're going to just get the out at first. So runner will advance to second, as there's one down now. It'll be Perez now at second with one down. It'll bring up Brandon Durand. He is 0 for 4 with a strikeout, fly out, line out, and ground out. So he's done it all, but not in the ways he wanted to. He's looking to try and advance the runner in home from scoring position. That is Christian Perez over at second. Patrizzi went down as this one's Durand, and that will get down for a base hit. He's going to stay at third, so there's going to be runners on the corners, just past the outstretched glove of Jacob Hayes. So Brandon Durand gets a base hit, but is not able to bring Perez home. So it's going to be runners on the corners, Perez on third, Durand on first. It's going to bring up Ryan Cochran. He is 0 for 3 with a hit by pitch. Gavin Alvetti has to have this out here. And that one's going to be a strike on the missed bunt attempt. So 0-1 now to Ryan Cochran. Mrs. Lopez checking in, saying, let's go Chinooks. Thank you for listening to Mrs. Lopez. It is 1-1 with 1 out now. Runners on the corners. The Miners bullpen getting a little rowdy. And that's going to be ball number 2. There's another one warming up out there for the Miners. We will take a look and see who that is in just a moment. And there it is. Pitch from Alvetti. It's a strike. Cochran arguing that call, but he's going to step way out of the box and regain his composure as the count is even at 2-2 now. He's been doing it all night. He's been crowding the plate, and so it made it look like it was in there, and count goes full now, 3-2. But he was crowding the plate, and so he had to move out of the way, but so he made it look bad, but he was also he was bunting, and so that one is fouled, and the count is going to stay at 3-2. So I'm not sure what the argument was, but he didn't like how close that pitch was to him, as the count is still 3-2 full. The pitcher warming up in the bullpen is number 23, Drew Conan. And that's going to load him up. So Alvetti couldn't finish him off, and so the bases are loaded with only 1 out. It's going to bring up Blake Bolts. And it's going to move Durand over to second. And Perez is going to hold at third. And Bolts is going to see what he can do to drive in a run or two. Rickabaugh out to the mound. Calm his pitcher down. And they're going to see if they can get out of this one. A strikeout here is necessary for the Chinooks unless they can get that double play. Either way, they will have the bottom of the 9th to see if they can make a rally. That one's outside in the other batter's box for ball 1. So 1-0 to Blake Bolts. Alvetti comes set, and there it is, strike 1, right down the heart of the plate. So count is even now, 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. The rain has mostly let up, as I'm sure the players are very grateful for that. There's the 1-1 pitch. This one is fouled off behind the plate. So 1-2 now to Blake Bolts. Alvetti needing the strikeout. Comes back to the mound, and we'll look for his 3rd strikeout of the night. Bolts resting the bat on his shoulder. Will dribble it. They're going for the double play. They will not get it in time, so 1 run will score. So the fielder's choice for Bolts is what it's going to come down as. They will get Cochran at second, but the run will score from third, and that is going to be Christian Perez. So it is now 4-3 Miners, and they break the tie. And the Chinooks will have to make a run at it in the bottom of the 9th if they want a chance to win this. It's going to bring up Riker Sko. Sko is 0 for 2 with a walk and reach on air, and this one is chopped foul down the third base side. So 0-1 now to Sko. Runners on the corners. Sko will step back in. Alvetti checks first. And deals. Just outside for ball 1. For 3 Miners. As the hit column is identical, 9 apiece. Both teams strike number 2 on Riker Sko. There's been no lack for drama in this one, as we have a close game here in the 9th inning. And that one's going to be fouled off again down the third baseline. Count will remain at 1-2 as Sko fell over on that swing. Hopefully he's all right. Didn't hurt anything. He's going to take a little practice swing and fix his gloves, and he will trot back in to the batter's box. Sko will rest the bat on his shoulder. And the pitch comes from Alvetti. It will be, again, slapped foul down the third base side. It'll be Durand on third and Baltz on first. And there it is. There's strike 3. Alvetti gets out of there with only 1 run surrendered. So it's 1 run on 2 hits, no errors, 2 left on base as we go to the bottom of the 9th. Chinooks down 1, 4-3. We will head on to the bottom of the 9th where your Chinooks try and rally and take this one. And we're back in the bottom of the 9th inning. It is Brady Groves to lead things off for the Chinooks. The new pitcher for the Miners is Drew Conan, number 23. He has an ERA of 0.00. He is their closer. He has 3 saves, 11 innings pitched. He's given up 4 hits, no runs. As that one is just inside. For ball 1, there's an argument from the coaches and players in the Miners dugout. Umpire says I need you to calm down. And there's that exact same pitch. So it's 2-2. And here it is again. That one is a heater down the middle but high. So it's quickly 3-0 to Brady Groves. That one will be ball 4. So Groves is on 4 straight pitches. So the Chinooks are in business as we head back to the top of the lineup. And we have never had a better chance. We do have to scratch across too, but we can do it. We can walk things off here in the bottom of the ninth. Cade Smith is 0 for 1 with 3 walks. We'll see if he walks again here or not. But Conan is from Park Ridge, Illinois, out of Dartmouth University. That one is ball 1, and my goodness, it is getting rowdy up here at Lee Jordan Field. Pitch right down the middle. Cade Smith takes it, and it's strike 1. 1-1 to Cade Smith with no outs and 1 on. Here it is from Conan. That one's low and in the dirt, so 2-1. Groves goes back to first and takes his lead. Not much of a lead, not wanting to risk anything here, not trying to get out with only no one out, and so there it is. High to Cade Smith, looking for his 4th walk of the game. It's 3-1. Smith looks over at Groves at first, and the 3-1 pitch. Big swing and a miss from Cade, and it's a full count now, 3-2. Cade will step back in to see the full count pitch. It's Dagenhart on deck, and there it is, the strikeout on Cade Smith. So it's 1 out now and 1 on. Conan got the strikeout he needed. Cade Smith went down swinging, and it brings up Oliver Dagenhart. Dagenhart is 2 for 4 with 2 singles, a flyout, and a groundout. So runner on first is Brady Groves with 1 out. Big sliding curveball is just outside for ball 1. A lot of movement on Conan's pitches. And when there's not, he is blowing it by. And that's strike 1 on the heater. So 1 ball, 1 strike, 1 out. As Dagenhart will step back into the box. Needing this right here. That ball is well outside, low and away for ball 2. This would be the worst of all time for the Chinooks to strand one, as they have been doing all year. But now more than ever, they need to be able to knock one in. And there's the big swing and a miss from Dagenhart. 2-2 now to Dagenhart as the count is even. Conan comes set and fires. There it is. Strike 3, and Dagenhart will head back to the dugout as Jordan Jaffe comes to the plate. So 2 straight strikeouts for Conan as he has found a bit of a rhythm. Jaffe comes to the plate. 2 for 4, 2 strikeouts and 2 singles. Inside and low for ball 1. So 1-0 to Jordan Jaffe. Jaffe looking to advance Groves from first. There is a big swing from Jaffe. He was swinging for the fences on that one. And if he was able to make contact, we would have been done. This game would have been over. But that one will be fouled off. So it's 1-2 to Jordan Jaffe. One more strike, and we are headed to extras. But not if Jordan Jaffe has anything to say about it. The 1-2 pitch to Jaffe. This one will be dribbled and tagged at second. And we're going to the 10th inning of play. Oh, excuse me. I'm sorry. That is the game. The Miners win it 4-3. That is my mistake. And the Miners will win it in 9. 4-3. Chinooks fall in a close one. As the totals from this inning are no runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left on base. And that is going to be it for the 9th inning of play and the game. The Chinooks will fall 4-3 to the Matsu Miners. We will look at the total stats in just a moment. Starting with the winning Miners. It is going to be 4 runs for the Miners on 9 hits, no errors for the Miners, and 14 men left on base, and they still pulled out the win. So not the best night for the Miners, but it didn't matter. They got the W, and that's what mattered. Winning pitcher for the Miners is Rocco Bernardina, and Drew Conan came in with the save. Losing pitcher will be Frankie Golko for the Chinooks. The Chinooks totals on the night will be 3 runs, 9 hits, 1 error, 9 men left on base. So that's going to do it for the Chinooks night. We're going to be back against the Miners tomorrow night, this time out in Palmer. So that'll be a doubleheader, actually. So starting at 4 o'clock, 2 7-inning games. We will hope to see you then on the Chinooks Network. This has been Clayton Jackson, and on behalf of Chinooks Baseball and the AIA staff, thank you for listening, and we will be back tomorrow at 4 o'clock against the Matsu Miners with more Chinooks Baseball here on the Chinooks Network.